Good morning, good morning. What have we got here? Bit of a grey day today, Monday morning. Did it take time to get started? I'm not so sure. I pressed the button about 15 seconds before 8 there. A bit grey today. It's still going to be hot. We're still in the 30s. Not yet, but we will be in the 30s today. But at least the sun is covered up. It's going to be, I guess, a bit more muggy. There's no specific typhoon threat to Japan right now. What's this? This is, oh, what's happening? Monday. Did I forget to put my garbage out? No. Monday. It's the second or third Monday. It's the non-burnable, non-recyclable, mixed kind of garbage today. This is Nishinomiya-san. They must have had a big cleanup upstairs. He's the guy that lives next door. Morning, good morning. Someone says audio is quiet this morning. I think it's just me. It's the usual audio right here. Did I turn it down a bit to try and avoid rumbling? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, what's the work today? We're continuing. We're going to pick up exactly where we left off the other day. There's my breakfast. We're going to pick up exactly where we left off. I'm still tracing the shadow print. It's going to be the gift print this year. It's a shadow print. What's he doing? Taking his garbage back in. Has he made a mistake? I don't know what he's doing. No idea. Is it the wrong Monday? I don't know. Taking it back in. Maybe it's the wrong Monday. I can't remember. Is it first and third or second and fourth? I don't know. Okay, as I said, we're going to pick up. We're going to do more of the tracing. Hopefully, get that shadow print finished today. There will be a normal show and tell at the end of the stream today. It'll be a nice show and tell. It's not something sort of, oh my God, look at these glorious objects. It's the kind of thing we've seen before. It'll just go in a bit depth, and we have some background information on today's show and tell stuff that we've never seen before. So today should be, I think, an interesting show and tell, but a more quiet one. We've got some prints that arrived yesterday. Mitamura-san came around. This is not new. It's just the latest batch. You know what they are. We're still chewing through these. There are people still waiting for them. We'll be making about 700 altogether over the course of the year. We're well past halfway through. I forget, this is the 5th group, so this is number 500 or something. I don't remember, I'm sorry. I'll be cutting them in half. If I had nothing else to do today, I would be slicing them in half here today on the stream. These are from Mitamura-san. We don't put the printers' names on these small chibis. There's not enough room for them, but we rotate the job through many of our printers. So people who are getting these throughout the year, they will get one from, you know, a random printer. That's the correct garbage. You heard the sound, broken glass, metal. I think he simply put the wrong garbage out. Then, no connection with show and tell. We have some prints to show. Let's not start with this because there may be not enough people looking here yet. Let's wait a half an hour or so, or about halfway through the stream today. And I've got some prints to show that were brought in by an interesting young man who stopped by a few days ago. So please don't let me forget that. And we have a peanut update. It's interesting. I had said somebody sent us deep fried fat peanuts, just reading off the package. I had also mentioned that the return address on the package was Florida, which made a whole bunch of people in the chat start talking about this. They said if it's Florida and it's peanuts, they got to be boiled. And this went on during the chat. There was a letter inside the package that explains all. So let's hang on a little bit. Let's get to it a short time later. And the mystery of fried peanuts versus boiled peanuts will be resolved. But this morning, it's back to the tracing. There's no paper out this morning. Today's a national holiday still. And there's been no printers. I know Yuki-san from China was here working upstairs. She's now gone home. She's flying out this morning into the teeth of a typhoon. There's no printers upstairs. Tomorrow morning, they're going to be back at it. But today, I've got to get this thing finished, get it pasted onto some wood, and get carving. The holiday today, is it my day? Is it respect for the elders today? I don't remember. Next week there's another holiday, and it's the autumn solstice, the autumn equinox. Today I don't remember what it is. I'll take it. If it's mine, I'll take it. Respect for the aged day. Yeah, it's my day. The shop here the last few days has been busy. It's no specific connection to the long weekend because people who visit us from overseas, they don't even really realize it's a holiday most of the time. Yesterday in Asakusa was a different day from normal. It was the day of the Samba Carnival. And that's also a surprise to people. What's the connection with Brazilian Samba and Asakusa? And there's a massive, massive, massive carnival type parade here every year. It used to be in the summer. They changed it to September to try and avoid the worst of the heat. Dancing along streets with the sun reflecting off the surface is no fun, I guess. So. But they had a hot day for it yesterday. They don't come down our street. It was mainly over the main streets in front of the Kaminarimon and the area there. We put a live stream. They did a live stream of it, the people who organize it. And we put that up in the shop yesterday. So we got to watch the Brazilian dancers jiggling their way down the street. So there must be video by now up on the net. So if you Google Asakusa Samba Carnival, I'm sure you'll be able to get some views of it. So. But yeah, it was busy in the shop. Boy, oh boy. We're always in a similar situation. certain ones of our prints are more popular than others. Of course, that's the way publishing goes. You know, not all of the things you publish have the same level of popularity. So it's inevitable that among our publications, some they sell more copies than others. And that means, of course, that we have to send them to the printers more often. So things like the cat series we're doing, the Descending Geese, and the ones in that series are extremely popular. And I myself, when I'm working in the shop like this yesterday, I have very mixed feelings. You know, people ask us, "Can you recommend something? Can you recommend something?" And sometimes the staff will reach for one of these popular prints, you know, and I'm like, "Don't recommend that one." You know, we're running out of those. Recommend something that, you know, is not selling well. So it's that ethical. Oh, we have a nice print here. It looks interesting. I know nobody ever buys it, but we could recommend this one. So what we want people to buy and what they're buying anyway are sort of two different things. So I'm half joking as I tell this. Of course, when they ask for recommendations, we try and honestly find out what they're looking for and try and fill it. But for us, the ones that we want to pick out and specifically show, these are the cool, we sort of don't really want to do that, you know. So. Why is the iPad yellow? I don't know. There's some yellow tone here. Oh, you mean out in the... Is that the shadow here? If I get out of the way, there's a light coming from the top. It's an LED light. But what we've also got, there's a floodlight throwing on me, and it's really yellow. It's supposed to be yellow-blue balanced, but we lost some of the bulbs, and now it's mostly yellow. So coming to the front at the moment is a yellowish tinted light. I'm sorry. The iPad is a normal iPad. It's just normal. There is a tint there. I see it myself here, a yellowish tint along here to show. Speaking of those recommendations, you know, it really happens a lot. You know, people, they've maybe seen our YouTube channel. They're not specifically print collectors or something. They will come in because they're curious about the place. They've seen the videos. They'd like to meet me or something, whatever. And they will come in, and for some of these people, for many of these people actually, it's a little bit overwhelming. They will stand here with the prints, and really they're sort of lost. You know, as I said, some of these people don't really know much about wood-bought prints, just having seen a video or two. So we have to do a quick explanation of what we're doing, and without having a long lecture. But there's so many different kinds of prints here, it's really a little bit difficult to encapsulate. Give me the 25-word overview of what we do and what we're doing here and what they're all about. And I'm okay at this. I'm good at this now because I've done it so often and I know what we've got. But sometimes one of the staff members will start this sort of explanation, and it'll go on a bit and on a bit, and they're trying to make sure they explain everything, and it's sometimes difficult to know how much to talk about, how much to explain, and how much is too much. So, and then endlessly, the people will ask, are these originals? And we have to try and manage that question. Yes, they are. No, they're not. Yes, they are. No, they're not. Busy outside. Is it the garbage man coming? Don't know. Someone says, how have I been lately? I'm fine. I'm fine, of course. Things are coming well. My personal schedule, these days has changed. I'm spending more time out in Ome. Some of that has been a very relaxed time. Some of that has been very stressful time. We'll sort it out as we go along. I should tip up and forget that we normally do these streams 3 days a week, Mondays, Thursdays, Saturdays. For you, Sunday, Wednesday, Friday. The next stream won't be a stream. I know I'm scheduled for next Thursday out in Ome, but I have a dentist appointment Wednesday morning, and they're going to be removing a deeply entrenched deep molar. That's going to be removed Wednesday morning. And I am under advisory by many people who've chatted with me about this. They said, Dave, don't schedule a stream for the next day. You might be okay, but given your age and whatever the thing that's about to happen to you, it's probably if you just simply cancel out. So next Thursday's stream, 3 days from now, won't happen. It won't be a stream. I have my first ever tooth extraction happening the day before. I'm losing my back left top molar. I feel a bit sad about that, and I feel a little bit like it's a failure. Today I've got 32 teeth, but come Thursday I will only have 31 teeth. So I look on that as a little bit of a failure. Didn't make it to the end with a full set of 32, But what can I say, In recent years, I've taken care of my teeth and taken care of myself. But when I was younger, I was very, very delinquent. I did not do the right thing. I did not see a dentist frequently. I did not take care of my teeth through my teens and 20s. It was only during my 20s that I woke up and got sensible. And I'm paying for that now. So I feel a sense of failure here, but things are what they are. I think I'll be okay. It's no big deal, I guess, in the big scale of things. And it's funny because when I did first start going to the dentist in my 20s, one of the things that he recommended, and I remember this, one of the things that he recommended was get rid of the 4 molars. Take them out, top and bottom. They weren't rotten or anything. But it turns out that what I've got or whatever, there's no gap between any of the teeth. They're sort of all pressed together. And one reason why I haven't been flossing as well as I should have is because there's no space between each teeth. And you got to jam the floss in and jam it out and jam it out. And I guess his recommendation back then was that by removing those things, your mouth can then settle down and expand, and maybe there would be actual space between your teeth. I don't know if that's going to change now at my age, anything, I don't know. But there was a recommendation back then, and I don't remember the conversation specifically, but I must have said, sorry guy, no way, like I'm going to do that voluntarily. I don't know if it's a thing, if he was fishing for business, or if it was a sensible recommendation. I have no idea whatsoever. But I passed on the chance back then. These, this guy's carrying a rolled up mat, and there's no way this should be delicate and careful. It's a rolled up reed mat. So I'm just going to put some lines here that show me where the lines should be. But I'm not taking the time and trouble to neaten these and turn these into beautiful brush strokes, because next week my knife is just going to go bang, 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 bang. I just simply want the location. Where are these lines supposed to be? And then I'll freehand it when I carve in a few days. It's a reed mat. There's no way these lines should be carefully drawn. They're not architectural lines. Right now, I just need to know where to put them. And at the scale, this is a postcard print. What's the scale here? This is going to be somewhere around that size. So those lines just have to be something to show that it's a mat. No taste, no delicacy, nothing. Just draw some lines. So, many people do get them. Yeah, so this was a thing. Okay. Maybe my life would have been better then if I'd said to the guy, go ahead and do it. I don't know. Again, I don't remember any details of it, or the feeling, or the mood, But it was on the table. Your teeth are too tight together. Remove those back 4, and it will improve everything all the way along. Maybe I should have done that. I don't know. One thing is different though. By postponing it from when I was 25 to having it done now, or at least one of them coming out now, it's going to be a lot cheaper now. Back when I was 25, I was living in Toronto in Canada. Dental care was not part of the medical insurance system. I don't know if it is these days, whatever. Here it is, so my procedure on Wednesday will be fully covered by my health insurance here. So I saved a lot of money by waiting 50 years. You can't even really see what I'm doing. It's funny, the red line I'm tracing here, I've got it at a lower opacity. We could put the red lines up to full opacity. But if I do that, it makes it more difficult for me to see the lines underneath. So I keep them, whatever, 50, 60%. I can see both. I can see the red I've traced, and I can see the underneath lines still. Yeah, it's barely visible. I guess it's okay. No, it's a normal bog standard. It's an iPad. It's an iPad Pro, I think, is the model. It's from a bunch of years back now. We don't need, super high fast chip or whatever. It saved so much time. When I used to do this on Gumpy paper, tracing it, it was trace and patch and erase and trace and patch. I had a pleasant evening yesterday. I had a request a few weeks ago from an acquaintance here in Tokyo. Acquaintance, I guess the right word for it. A friend, a person I know here in Tokyo. We don't spend, never haven't spent a lot of time together, so it's an acquaintance, I guess. A young man who's living here in Japan, working in one of the traditional Japanese, not arts, one of the traditional Japanese crafts, and he had asked, can we have dinner together or whatever? He wanted to bounce some ideas off me, about some of his projects, whatever. And it was fun and it was funny, I know the person involved is looking at me as somebody who is, I guess, whatever. Here's Dave. He came to Japan. He had a plan. He sort of didn't have a plan, whatever, and he made certain things happen. And this person now has been in Japan for quite a while, but they've also got a plan. I'd like to do this. So they wanted to have dinner and chat and talk about, I don't know, what I thought about their plan and idea and this and that. And it's an interesting situation to be in. I really have mixed feelings about it. There's an age difference. I am almost not quite a generation older, but a lot more experienced here. So I've done something, I've built something. So Dave has experience to put on the table. But it's really dangerous. Dangerous dangerous meaning it's really easy to look at what I did and say, oh, I see your project. Here's what I think you should do. Do it just like I did. If you do this and this and this and this and this, then you too can be happy ever after and all that kind of stuff. And it's really easy to sort of trivialize it and to generalize too much, that the experience I had and the things I did, are they really appropriate for somebody else or somebody else's situation? Do they really match what that person wants to do? And it's so easy to sit there and gab and answer questions and, yeah, just do it like this, do it like this, do it like this. But maybe it's not completely the right thing at all. You don't know, the experience I had might really not be applicable to that person's proposal. And it's hard to tell. It's really, really hard to tell. The listener will sit and say, oh, I see, you did this, and. But I don't know how much one person's experience, and also we're talking about decades change. When I came to Japan and had a plan to do this, we're talking the 1980s. This was the Showa era, let alone Heisei and Reiwa. And this person is now working in an internet era, in a different. So I don't know. I tend to wave my hands a lot and say, yeah, this is what works, and try this, and I think you should do this, and all that kind of stuff. But all the time in the back of my mind, I'm yelling, Dave, shut up, just take it easy. So I think probably I qualified what I'm saying. And the acquaintance, the person in the conversation, he's not stupid. He knows, he can see clearly what I've done. He's got his own plan, and maybe hopefully pick and choose and grab something that might be relevant from the conversation. But I walked away after he left last night. I walked away thinking, Dave, settle down. I think you got overboard. You got too excited. I know how to solve your problems. Garbage man. Is that a garbage lady? Garbage man. Long ponytail. Someone's asking a question about interfacing the pad here. I don't know. These days, in my own environment with an OS, an Apple world, interfacing and connecting these devices is extremely simple. I did the file here. I sent it. What I call airdrop. I airdropped it from my laptop computer over to the iPad here. And when I'm finished this, I will save this. And actually, I'll just do the same thing. There's a share button here. I'll hit the share button. I'll send it back to the laptop via airdrop, and there it will be. You know. Those are the questions. I don't really know. You know. To share files with non-Mac computers, I have absolutely no idea. I'm sorry. You know. There must be tons of information out there on this these days. So. Okay, I see now that maybe what I did, there was a bit of a mistake. What I did was I did the horizontal lines of this rolled up mat, and then it may have been a mistake. I put sort of threads, you know, chop, 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 to show it was tied together the way that a mat is tied together, each of the bamboo pieces or whatever they are. But that actually may have been a mistake, because now over on this side, I see this. We have this line. And this is clearly a string running around the thing, holding it together. This is not a thread that's part of the makeup. So I'm not sure. Is that also what this was? Was this a string rolling up the mat? I think not, because it's curved in the same way that the end of the mat is. So I think that was correct. This is 1 by 1 by 1 by 1. This one also, I think, might be 1 by 1 by 1 by 1. And then these two, perhaps, this guy, he's rolled some string around it to hold it together into a roll. This would, again, would be 1 by 1. So let's try that. Doesn't make much difference, I think. But these lines, then, let's keep these as smooth curves. This is a cord or a string that is tying this thing together. It's rolling it up. Whereas this one now, this will be a dot, 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 dot. Can I? Maybe. So it'll make these more difficult to carve. I'm, you know, whatever. To keep this smooth means all these other lines have to stop and cross at that point. These ones, dot, 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 are easy because when you get a little joint there, it'll make it look more natural. Can't be helped. Can't be helped. Oops, too thick, absolutely too thick. Last night after I got back from dinner with a guest, and I spent an hour or so on video editing. There's lots of video editing happening now. There will be real soon now a bunch more videos coming onto the channel. The next video coming up is the one we looked at on one of these streams a couple of weeks ago, the view of the Adachi workshop in the 1950s. I'm not going to play it for you now, but those of you who are watching a few weeks ago, you remember that. In that video, you might remember that there was a scene in the workshop where the master, Toyohisa Adachi, came upstairs and he browsed around while 4 of the printers were busily beavering away. In the video, we were then introduced to one of the printers, a gentleman called Murata-san. I knew who this was. I was able to identify him. And anyway, in the video, they said, this is Murata, blah, blah, blah. But the other three printers, I had no idea who they were. So I took a clip of the video a couple of days ago, and I sent it to Kubota-san, who spent his working career at the Adachi workshop. And I said, Kubota-san, hi, we're preparing a video about Adachi, blah, blah, blah. You're not in it. It's from an era before where you are. But can you please identify these three people? Thinking that Kubota-san, nothing. No, maybe they were older when he arrived there or whatever. And it was a blank. He had no idea who they were. Now, he came in the early 70s, 71 or 72. He came to that workshop. And this video was made almost 20 years earlier than that, 53 or 54, somewhere around there. But that was enough. He had no idea who they are. And I guess basically now there's nobody else I can ask. If I do get a chance to talk to Adachi-san himself, then perhaps, presumably, he would be able to tell this information to me. But although we've written to them, we've received a little bit of silence in return. And it's probably not going to be possible to talk to Adachi-san himself about that video. He is now very, very old, and it's quite possible that we won't have a chance to talk to him. As I mentioned, we've written to the workshop, we've written to the company asking if there's a chance we could maybe see him, but nothing back yet. It's quite possible. I've waited too long for this one. Should have done this earlier. The Curator's Corner, people are talking about the BM, the British Museum. I got fooled by them about a week or so ago, a little bit more about a week ago. So I got a letter, an email from the people I know at the British Museum, one of the research ladies, Cappuccini-san, you know her, and people in the video editing, the people who had been here over a year ago taking footage here for a future video at the British Museum. Anyway, they took a video a year ago here, and I've been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and maybe when is this going to happen? I didn't bother. I mean, my own YouTube channel too, it's kind of like sometimes things take a long time to happen, so I get this. But then about a week ago, I got an email from them, and it was a little bit of a frantic email. And it was, Dave, we've got some video prepared. We really want to get it open as fast as possible. Please, ASAP, can you check this out and let us know if you got any issues with this? So I dropped what I was doing, stayed up late that night, whatever, checked through it, got the answer back to them. Yeah, I'm cool. This looks really good. I get no problems, no complaints. You guys go ahead. And then I mentioned to a couple of other people nearby me, new British Museum video is dropping tonight or tomorrow. Stand by. It's now like 10 days later, and nothing has happened. So I wrote to them yesterday saying, by the way, the thing that you said, like, as soon as possible, what's the story, you know? And the answer came back, we hope maybe we can get it open by December. So I don't know. So those of you who I had dropped into that conversation and teed up, stand by for a new British Museum video, my apologies for the false alarm. I don't think I'd seen the phrase ASAP for years, back when I used to be working in business, you know. We used to use that. I'd like to hear back from you ASAP, you know. I don't use that with my employees. My God, I would never say that to anybody here. Okay, Nami-san, let's get on this. ASAP, you know. I don't do that, but that's what the British Museum hit me with last week, so I jumped right to it, you know. Maybe next December. I think he said maybe. Maybe by December. Is this fun? Is this interesting to watch? Tell you what, it's 8:42. We're nearly halfway through. Let's take an interlude. Let's take a break to show a couple of things. This is not the show and tell corner, but let me put this away just a minute. A couple of things to show. The package the young man left, but that's a serious one. Before that, an update on the peanuts story. All those of you who know about Florida or who live in Florida or whatever, here's the update. The package came deep fat fried peanuts. It got opened by customs on the way in. I guess maybe food packages need to get explored. And a package of peanuts did arrive. And we mentioned on the last stream that the peanuts do actually look kind of large. I don't think I've ever seen peanuts this big before. And they have sort of a little bit of a bubbly kind of a thing. They've got bubbles all over them. Maybe those of you who are from Florida know already what this is about. I didn't know anything about this. The lady sent a card, and it turns out I didn't open this on the stream because I was worried, you know, privacy, privacy, privacy. It was a long little letter, and it's mostly about the peanuts. They were happy to visit us, hospitality during the visit, love to talk to you. You know, they've been watching our video and stuff like that. They also, this family, they bought a ton of prints. They really, really supported our work quite a lot. But here's the thing about the peanuts. Now, maybe this is no news to some of you at all. It was all brand new to me. And it said deep fat fried peanuts. And you guys were yelling, they're not fried, they're boiled. They're not fried, they're boiled. Here's the deal. My family has been involved with the humble peanut at an industrial level. Slow down, Dave. My family has been involved with the humble peanut at an industrial level for a majority of the past century. The peanuts herein, who uses the word herein? She's such a fun lady. The peanuts herein were grown in the southeastern region of Virginia, the northernmost part of peanut country in the USA. Consequently, they enjoyed a longer growing season than most peanuts out there on the open market. This allows them to grow a bit larger than most. Now, right away, I'm a little bit sure. The northernmost part of the area, to me, that would have a shorter growing season, not a longer growing season. But whatever, this is what she says. They enjoyed a longer growing season than most peanuts out there on the open market. So that's the first question. But anyway, whatever. This allows them to grow a bit larger than most. Some also say that because of this, they are somewhat more flavorful. Okay, the small round blisters on most of the kernels are the result of tiny explosions of water inside the nuts that suddenly expands when they are rapidly immersed in hot peanut oil. Now, is that the boiling phase? When they are rapidly immersed in hot peanut oil. The blisters add a little crunch to the surface of the kernels. I purchased the raw peanuts in 50-pound bags with the outer shell and the reddish-brown skins removed. I then clean them by boiling in water to help remove the remaining skins and the dust generated during the shelling process. Once thoroughly cleaned, I fry them in peanut oil at 330 F for 8 minutes. So I guess that is the story. She sort of told me the story a little bit backwards. So I guess they are boiled in water first to clean them, it says, and then they're dropped in the oil, and at that point, leftover water must explode and cause all these blisters. So boiled and then fried. They don't give me any time. So she said the frying part in the oil is 330 for 8 minutes, which seems to me like an awful long time. And then she says, I hope you enjoy them, but please beware. These are nutritious but highly calorific, with each kernel imparting 20 calories per kernel. Portion control recommended. Now, I didn't open them the other day, and I'm not going to open them here on the desk today for a very, very simple reason. When these came to my desk the other day, I had standing by the show and tell with these gorgeous Pochibukuro prints. And we have a standing rule in this building. Of course, we're dealing with washi paper, with woodblock prints. There's washi, there's prints everywhere. My desk has woodblock prints all over it. We don't open a package of oily food on the same desk that we're dealing with woodblock prints, period. So these will go over to the back there, and maybe at somebody's lunchtime or snack time or whatever, we'll clip this open and very carefully we'll dish some of these out and taste them. But opening a package of fried food on my workbench is a no-go. So this is no insult to the lady. Thank you very much. We will try these. We will have a go at these. But this is why I didn't open them and say, really tasty right at that moment. And I'm not going to do that now. And I speak from bitter, bitter experience. The combination of food, especially oily food, with woodblock prints. It is an absolute recipe for disaster. So yes, we will try these, but not sitting here on this desk. I got a video of myself trying for the first time. Okay, maybe we can do that, whatever. Snack time this afternoon or something, if I do that. We've actually got a new camera to play with here, but we're preparing for more Ome streams. We have a bit more new technology here. Anyway, okay, let's change horses. Totally different story here. I don't know how much I told you the story the other day. A young man came 3 or 4 days ago. I don't remember what day, Saturday, Friday, Saturday. It must be after Saturday because I would have showed these on the last stream. A young couple came in, and a very, very common pattern. Quite a shy young man. She had to speak at first. They've been watching our YouTube videos. They've been enjoying the work. They're from the Netherlands, and it became obvious he was holding this portfolio. So it became kind of obvious. We pushed the conversation. He said he'd been watching YouTube videos, and I said, "Are you like making prints?" And he didn't easily answer at first, but she sort of gives him the nudge. Whatever. Turns out he's making prints, and he is having a ton of fun with it. He showed me the prints, and whatever, that's it. The rest of the shop, or the people in the shop, you get out of my way. This young man and I spent the next hour looking and gloating over the prints he's made. We have a link for him. It turns out that he does have some of these online. There it is. Here is his Instagram. Maybe a lot of you guys already know this young man. I didn't know anything about this. He's made a bunch of nicely put together, interesting prints. They're not all perfect. They're somebody's first attempts. Let me just dump them on the table first, then we'll look at a few of them. Did I offer him a job? Not just yet, and that's not what he wants. He just wanted to share his experience with me. We did have a chance to chat about this and that and what his plans for the future are. It's a mix. Some of the prints are reproductions of something older, and some of the prints are designs he has come up with himself. Seen this one before somewhere? It's not just me. There's 2 or 3 designs. The girl in the bath. There's this Ogata Korin crows. 2 or 3 designs that almost every dude who is trying to make woodblock prints, including me, gloms onto this design and says, "Hey, that's cool. I think I can do that too." There are now dozens, probably hundreds of versions of this print out there. Everybody seems to try it. It looks really simple. It sort of is simple, and something about it's really attractive. It's one of those iconic ones. I think it's from this is an original from the Hasegawa workshop, I think. I'm not quite sure. Don't know. Another original from him. And we spent more an hour chatting about it. So I'm not going to sit here and give a tutorial or a commentary about this. He's spent a lot of time practicing He has done the work. He's got some wood. If you see his Instagram channel, he's making wood blocks himself. He's got some cherry he's sourcing locally or nearby, makes some wood blocks. You know, he wasn't able to buy some, so get your gear together and make some blocks. And he's had a real good go at it. And as is really common, as was very much the case with me, and clearly the case with him, and as is very common to many, maybe Vivid KP will probably back me up on this. Carving, you can sort of get going on the carving. You can carve some really nice shapes. You can get some carving done, and wow, look at that, it's all carved. What's much, much, much more difficult is printing by yourself. When you don't have access to other people doing it, you can't tell how much water, how much pressure. And like he said, Dave, this modeling thing here, what's going wrong? What am I doing wrong? With the carving, you can figure it out yourself. There's a shape, you try cutting it, it doesn't work, you try another technique, you've cut your shape. So it's funny because of the two skills, at the end of the day, the end of the career, the full career, from my point of view, who I do know something about both sides, to me, carving is much more difficult in that to do the thing beautifully properly, you really need a deeper level of accomplishment and skill and study and work compared to printing. Printing can be done by any old joker. Pull a guy off the street, and as long as he's got some muscles, he, she, whatever, a couple of days later, you got a printer, whatever. I'm not being fully sarcastic here. Carving takes many years to get the taste. Printing, you can be a good printer at a certain level pretty quickly. But it's a paradox because for the beginner working by themselves, it's the other way around. This young man has managed to carve very decent, very delicate things as a beginner. This one, look at this. He's carved lines with taste. He's done the suit. But with printer, it's much, much more difficult if you don't have a model and a person to see. You can explore and put more water, more pressure, less pressure. You go round and round and round in circles, and everything you try just makes things worse. It's really, really, really frustrating. Opposite of what Vivid is saying. What's Vivid saying? I don't see comments from Vivid KP here, but whatever. She says printing is tough. Yeah, this is my point here. For a person who doesn't have experience or doesn't have a way to sit together with other people to see what's going on, printing is tough. He struggled. Too much grain, too light, too dark, how to do it. But the carving, you could pass this to a professional printer and you could print. We can sell this print this afternoon. So when I say printing is easy, it is once you're up and running and you're going. But it's extremely difficult when you're floundering in the shallows by yourself without a good role model. Whatever, I'm not expecting anybody to agree with everything I say, you know. Anyway, here's the young man. You've got his information from the Instagram there. He's done cool stuff, you know. There's lots of delicate, look at this. He's put a shadow underneath this leaf. He's gone to the time and trouble. There's an extra gradation here, an extra shadow. To make this thing look realistic, he's really added a number of, I have no idea how many blocks or printings. No idea. I can't tell. One gradation, two gradations, there's no way. We could reverse engineer it. This is a simple print on the face of it, but this is complex. This is complex to make. So there, and then at the end of it, you know, I've been looking at these. I passed them back to him. Thank you very, very much for showing me this, you know. And he shoves it over to me and says, no, they're yours. You can have them. You can keep these. So, Hawkinson, thank you very, very much. I was really glad to see you yesterday. Glad to hear a bit about your story. Wonderful to see results like this. So many people, you know, talk, and not so many people actually get down and do this, are as productive as you've been. So thank you again, sir. Thanks for the visit and thanks for the prints. And I have every confidence that you will be able to move well forward and make some spectacular prints. It's also something else in his experience here that replicates my own experience almost exactly. There's a combination. There's 5 prints here. 3 of them are reproductions and 2 of them are originals. And which way this young man is going to go through life? Is he going to be a printmaker in the way that Karen is doing this? She's making her own designs. Clearly, that's her focus. She wants to make beautiful prints, but she also wants to be the designer. Håkan here he's got 1 foot in both of these environments. Dave originally, I did the same thing at the beginning. I put 1 foot in each environment. Should I be making original prints? That's what it means to be a printmaker. When I came to Japan, I learned that there is an honorable profession to be made, doing the cutting and printing to other people's designs. Which way this young man is going to fly in the future, I have no idea. No idea. Is he here? I don't know. I don't see anything that tells me this young man is here. It's not a secret. His name is on his Instagram. It's Håkan Abernathy, living and working in the Netherlands. I think originally he said he was an American, but he's living and working in Europe. Question for Karen that's really, really interesting. Labels. Are you a Shinhanga printmaker or a Sosaku printmaker? Dave's answer to that is you're asking Karen the wrong question, because one of the main points for us about the Shinhanga genre is, by definition, those of us who are in the field here, it's got to be different people making it. Shinhanga is the genre where we kept the breakdown of labor but moved into a new type of design for the 20th century. Sosaku prints are the words designer, carver, printer, publisher. It's all the same person. And the question is only confusing here because most modern Sosaku prints don't look realistic. Karen is making prints that look realistic in the sense of the Shinhanga work, but she's doing it all by herself. So for me, the question sort of doesn't make sense. Karen is clearly a Sosaku Hangaka, the field of creative printmaking, working all by herself. They don't have to be upside down random abstracts. They can look realistic as well. She's, from our point of view here, she's a Sosaku Hangaka. But labels, labels, labels. Who cares? Back to work. It's 8:59, coming up to 9 o'clock. We'll do this for 15 more minutes or so, and then switch to our show and tell, which I think is interesting. It's not sock material at all. We're just going to show some nice stuff. The type of thing we've had before on these streams. It's not a brand new type of thing we've never seen before. But they're fun. They're fun, they're fun, they're fun. These are actually looking quite natural. I'm being careless with this, but that's part of the deal, I guess. They're coming across quite natural. Petition for Vivid KP to start streaming. Sign here. No, I'm not going to try telling people what I think they should do, you know, absolutely. Do it like I do and you'll be happy ever after. That's not whatever. Different things suit different people. There's also when you're making that suggestion to Karen to start streaming, please remember that I'm here. This is my job, actually. I can make this part of my job. You know, Karen actually has a career. You know, you don't see any of that stuff, but you know, for me, this is my job. I'm getting paid for this. I guess I get a salary. Is this part of it? It's working hours. I guess it's working hours. So I guess I'm getting paid for this. I never thought about it that way, but I guess so. Oops. Is this stream marketing for Mokuhankan? Well, we don't use the word marketing here. We don't do that stuff. You know how it works here, whatever, you know. We don't have a marketing department. We don't have a marketing manager, you know. When Aino-san, before she went home to have her baby, she'd like put a picture up on Instagram now and then, but it's not like her title, social media manager and stuff like that. We don't think in those terms here. You know. Does my boss know I'm doing this? You know. There's a related point to this actually that came up. Myself and Yamada-san, the young boy doing our bookkeeping, we went through the experience late last year with the tax audit that came to us, you know. And the experience of that tax audit did change my attitude and perhaps Yamada-san, you know. We learned something about that tax audit, something important, that those people were human beings, but the relations, they didn't behave like human beings. The tax people came and there was no human factor involved. It was all about numbers and the money and the rules. There was no, they erased, and this must be part of what they do, they erased human feelings. I don't mean they came and talked like robots. I mean, they spoke to us normally. But the point being, whenever there was any decision, should this be an expense, should that not be an expense, there were no feelings involved. Oh, he's a nice guy, so yeah, we should do it that way. No, 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 no. Does this fit the rules or does this not fit the rules? And before the experience last year of the tax audit, my feeling about money and stuff here, I tried to do things, I'm a nice guy. There's an allowable expense for a company president to spend a certain amount of money each month without having receipts. Well, we had never done that. Why would I just use money with no receipts and then grab a tax deduction? I never thought about doing that because I was a good guy, I was a nice guy. And we learned they don't care. They don't care. at all. Now, I can talk about this in public. The tax people are listening or whatever, or not. It doesn't much matter. But things like this. Okay, Dave went to Ome last week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. When I went to Fukui Prefecture a couple of weeks ago, took a couple of days, that was a business trip. I bought train tickets, I bought food, I bought a present to take to Murata-san, and we deducted those expenses as business expenses. Now, nobody in the world would argue that. Okay, Dave goes to Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to Ome. Is that a business trip? Now, up to the time before this tax audit, give me a, it's not a business trip, I'm going blah, 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 blah. Now it is. Now it is. They wanted to play it this way. They wanted to play it according to the rules and take away the human feeling and the emotion and everything else. And we now play it by the rules. Dave gets on the train, that's a business expense. Boom. So we are now, we've gone colder, we've gone harder. We're just, whatever the tax code says it should be, hi, that's what you want, that's what we'll do. We don't care anymore about whether, who's this? Oh, of course, it's Sadako. Monday, this never happens on a Monday. It's Sadako today.
It started raining.
Already?
Is the camera okay?
Oh, okay. Is it actually like, is it getting wet?
Not so bad.
Okay, let's keep an eye on it. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. She's here on Monday because it's a holiday. It's a Monday Sadako. We've perhaps never seen that before. I don't remember. Okay, are we finished this guy? We've got the bamboo is now done. Oh, there's a little thing behind here. I think this is supposed to be his pants, and I think they missed it. I think there's a couple of lines here that I guess are his trousers, actually. Or maybe, no, maybe it's this fabric. Let's try. Oh, the face, of course, I'm not done. It's the face, Dave, the hand and face. I was thinking we were going to kill this morning. We're not. Okay. It's got it so. Sadako, there's a little bit of comment in the chat about like what's going on. Today's a national holiday.
Yes.
It's Respect for the Aged Day, right?
Yes.
So how come these two people, you and me, what are we doing working this morning? So are we having fun? So I guess.
They know so well.
So that's the only answer. Welcome to Japan. And I wonder how many across the country, how many 60 plus people are working today. I wonder, whatever. Most of them, I don't know. So, but John Becker's got it. We're here so that we can receive their respect for the aged today. So, yeah.
We receive.
Yep. Do you feel it? Do you receive it? Yep.
Yes.
She's receiving it. Thank you. Somebody says, Dave, we had the same joke last year. Probably. No, it would have been me, whatever. You'll probably hear it again, God willing, next year as well. So.
I wish.
But it is bizarre. The kids are all off playing today, and me and you sit here do the work,
Yeah, this morning, a young guy was sitting
You're talking about on train, you're talking about?
in a train, sitting on the priority seat.
Okay. Young guy, but when you say young guy, you mean like a schoolboy or a middle-aged person?
Early
Okay.
20s.
Okay. Well, going to work, you mean?
On my way.
Yeah, but I mean, he's going to work. I mean,
I have no idea.
But I mean, business suit, dressed, what? Yeah.
Casual.
Whatever. Okay. More and more, Sadako now and then, she talks about the priority seats on the trains. Every one of the train carriages has a group of seats. There's 3 seats or 6 seats usually at the end of the train carriage, and they're marked as priority seats. They're not marked very well in English though, and it's very, very common, and I've seen this very, very often. The foreigners don't understand, and it's fair enough. There is a little poster with a picture of somebody with a cane and a pregnant lady and stuff, but it's not all that prominent. And there's no specific thing in English that tells people these seats are for, you know.
It's written
Only in very small, no, it's mostly large Japanese. The other day, because I was seeing this, I was in one of the priority seats, and there'd been a couple of, and a bunch of foreigners came in, and boom, they just came in the train, boom, wow, and there's some seats, sit down. And there's no way they studied and looked. And I don't feel bad about this. They just didn't see it. It wasn't obvious to them that those were special seats. No, I'm not dissing them because of this. You should have been more careful. No, they just came in the train, there's the seats, grab it and sit down. You know. And once you're sitting down, you don't know, because the sign, such as it is.
You can see the other side.
Yeah, well, that's the other side. I mean, you know, I'm just saying it's not really clear sometimes to foreigners. You know, so John thinks it's obvious. Whatever, on a crowded train, people come in, there's a seat, boom, sit down. I think sometimes it's not obvious. So whatever. I think it's time to switch over to show. Is it 9:15? I think it is. Let's put this away. Not quite finished. You probably won't be seeing this again now. It's Monday now. There won't be a stream Thursday. I'll be back here Saturday. And if this isn't finished and on woodblocks and getting carved by Saturday, I'm in deep trouble. So I don't think you're going to be seeing this tracing job again, hopefully. If you do, then it means things are not working well here. Okay. We have a package. I don't think there's going to be much dramatic wrapping here. I think it's going to be one and done. Open this and see. And to help back up what we're going to look at today, I need something else that's also standing by. This is heavy. This is something else that came to us off Yahoo Auctions, and it'll be a backup for what we're looking at here. If I can find a place to put it. Okay, let's have a look. Is that a call? They're commenting about these sitting down in the trains and the priority seats and something. And somebody's mentioning here that they've seen, I'll read it here. On Tokyo trains, it's the tourists I see who give up their seats for the elderly or pregnant. The younger Japanese riders just keep their eyes on their cell phones and continue to sit there. Yeah. Now that is a thing, of course. Young Japanese, they will just sit there. They don't look up because, you know, they know they're supposed to be standing up. But you say they've seen the foreigners giving up their seats. Have you seen this before? I don't know. I could believe this. It's Is there an earthquake happening?
Broken. I can take care of it.
Okay, later. No earthquake. A framed print just fell off the wall. Never frame your prints. It isn't one and done. It's going to be 2 or 3 or 4. I was wrong. I guess that counts as layer 2. I said one and done. I was wrong. Okay, you can now see where we're going with this. We're going to sea. We're going out to sea again on the NYK line. Because a while ago I had a chance to grab a bunch more of our famous NYK menus. Most of you, I think, know what this is all about. There may be some here that don't know what this is about. We're going back to the 1920s and 1930s. And we will know exactly what we're looking at because these objects all carry a date. Just to take the first one here, what we're looking at is something that was given as a part of the service. It was given to first-class passengers on transoceanic ocean liners in the NYK line, Nippon Yusen Kaisha. And this is a woodblock print prepared in a workshop in Tokyo before the boat sails. They would have been made for the boats in stacks of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. They loaded on rice and eggs and food for the customers. They loaded on blank menus. On board, there was a printing press. They used it for the daily little newspaper for the customers to read, and they also used it for the menus. And the menu must have been sent, the kitchen must have sent the information down to the printing press the night before. During the night, the beavers got busy with their printing presses, throwing in the woodblock prints and printing tomorrow's menu. And we have a date. This particular one.
Rain is heavy.
Okay, rain. Okay, let's do this. Just maybe pull it back. Yeah, okay, thank you. Stand ready for an earthquake outside. Hey. Thank you, Sadako. Is it too bright? If I turn the light off, is it better? Maybe it's better if I turn the light off. Okay. We have the date on the first one of here, May 1938. The commander's name and the full menu. And the menus are crazy. This is a Japanese ship, but they were trying to be international, top-level, high-quality cuisine. Most of them are written in French because this is the way they did it. Crazy. I don't know, this is what everybody ate, all of these things, or this was the menu that you would choose from? I don't think you would eat all these things. You wouldn't eat the beef and the duck. You wouldn't eat all of these things, would you? Or would they be very small portions? Or this is simply the menu that's on your table and you then tell the waiter what you would like him to bring you. I guess that's the approach. I really don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know much about them. Someone's saying that's what would be on the table. But I've seen pictures of these things in the first class dining room. It's long tables with white linen and a setting for each person. It's not a buffet thing. And in fact, it says here, there is a cold buffet. So over at the side of the room on the sideboard something, it must have been something like that. So my guess is you sit down, you've got your plate there, this thing is standing in front of you, and you order what you like from the wait staff who are coming nearby. I don't know. The other thing about these that's really interesting is that this is also designed, there's 2 or 3 different styles of them. They're designed with the route map showing where this was going. And these people would have come from either Vancouver or where is it? How did they get to Japan? Direct from Vancouver, Seattle, across to Yokohama, or from San Francisco to Honolulu first, and then up to Japan, Yokohama, Kobe. South Pacific Islands, and then of course the main ports. Hong Kong, Shanghai, Penang, round to India. Suez Canal existed by then, and there they go. None of their routes went round the south of Africa or the southern tip of South America. They didn't do that stuff. They simply kept mostly to the northern hemisphere. And this was the only way, really, for people to get around to Japan. There was no 747s flying. You wanted to take a trek to Japan. You took a different line. These people didn't do Atlantic crossings. That was all places like the Cunard line and things. You're in Britain. You take your Cunard line to Canada or New York. Take the train across the country and grab an NYK ship across the Pacific. And as I said, they're all beautiful woodblock prints. Let's just zip through. What's the date here? 1930, I can't even read it. 1938. Oh, what these could be, actually, these could all be from the same boat. It could be one person's little stash. This is the Katori Maru from May 1938. This is Katori Maru, January 38. It could be one person's been on this boat for like a round the world trip or something, or doing it like January and May. Or is this Katori Maru, February 1938? Yeah, it's gonna, look at this. They've got the same design. So the same person got this menu in February, and then they're repeating again. When it comes back to May, they got the same one. Interesting. This is the same menu again. Another one, July 38. Clocks will be put ahead 30 minutes tonight. It's too bad. Some of these menus that we've got in the past, they have the location. They will say something like, in the Mediterranean off the coast of Sardinia, or they will say, approaching Shanghai. These ones don't seem to have a message of where they are. But look at that. See, the person would have had the same menu again and again. Here we are, June 38. What's on the February menu? I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't would the menus be dramatically different? There's June, July. Let's check that then. Here's the January menu. How does it differ from what we just saw? Was it heavily seasonal? I don't think, they're on a boat. You know, you're not going to have fresh vegetables anyway. I don't think the menus would vary so much during the year. I don't know. Beef, chicken, potatoes, beef, chicken, potatoes. My guess is there's not going to be much change here. This fruit and stuff, these would be canned fruits, I think. Maybe if it's June and you dock in Shanghai for a while, you're going to load in some fresh fruit from Shanghai or something like that. My guess is it wouldn't change too much, except for things like the fruit, whatever. Now, somebody's talking about the war. This is interesting. At this point, 1938, Japan is at war now. And they're at war with China. And that map we had at the back showing the lines going from Japan to Shanghai and down there, that probably is being disrupted at this point. Japan didn't go to war with the rest of the world till, as you know, 1941. But in the late 30s, Japan is already at war. They are a country at war with China. So I don't know how much of this map is really available in 1938. And then the other thing that happened to these ships, of course, once Japan really went to war full time, all of this shut down. There was no international travel by steamship. The boats were all taken over by the Japanese military and used as things like troop ships and carriers and taking troops down to where they want to go. And most of the boats in this line, I don't know what happened to the Katori Maru, we would have to Google it. Almost certainly this thing is on the bottom of the sea in Marianas or something like this. The Americans would have torpedoed most of these. They were used as troop ships in and around the South Pacific. I should have maybe Googled it. I didn't want to open the package first. Oh, someone's got it. This ship was torpedoed in Borneo in 1941. But all of these things must be from the same voyage, 1938. So we don't know the person's name. The other part of it I mentioned, they're messages. So what you would also do maybe is you'd write, Dear Aunt Jane, we're having fun here in the middle of the South Pacific. Wish you were here. Wrap it up. There would have been an envelope supplied and it would be posted at the next port you arrived at. We're supposed to be talking about the prints. They're kind of clumsy. They're not carefully made. It's a rip-off of a Hiroshige type design. My guess is this is stolen from a Tokaido print. Do we recognize anything, Sadako? Is it the Mariko place on the Tokaido? I don't know. Well, it's similar, isn't it? What are they selling? Can we tell? Yeah, it doesn't say Mariko, though. It says
Makaya.
Makaya. But what are they selling? His hat's in the way. I can't tell what they're selling. But it very much has a feel of a Tokaido type print. It looks like a rip-off of a Hiroshige type design.
Manoya.
I don't know. And we have a cat dog. What have we got? It's a dog.
Dog.
It's a cat.
Dog.
It's a dog.
When I see the size of the animal.
I mean, Hiroshige would not want his name on this. When I said Hiroshige, I meant just a parody of the kind of print that he used to make. But
お休みどころ、休憩所。
Kyukeijo, isn't it? So a resting place on the old Tokaido. Actually, maybe there's a note. Hang on a sec. Here we go. Look at this. This is lies top to bottom. The description: a restful scene on the ancient Tokaido highway, immortalized by Hiroshige. And Hiroshige is saying, "Not me, buddy. That's not me." Whatever. His name got put on so much stuff. We've seen it before on the stream, some funny postcards in Shinhaga style, and they're all signed Hiroshige and carved into the image, you know. Can't be helped, you know, whatever. Okay, there you go. This is flip 2. This is a bit more. If they've put Hiroshige's name on this one, come on, give me a break. I hope not. Kegon Falls, no designer's name. But we do have something else mildly interesting here. Down at the inside from the printing company, we have the date this was made. The printing lot number, 10M. So maybe they made 10,000 copies, May 1937. And the menu, as we know, these are dated again, August 1938. So some lady who rode this ship, kept all her menus. And here they are. They've come to me. This is modern. Look at this. It's hard to believe this is 1930s. This looks post-war, modern. Nope, same thing. 1937. This is different. In fact, this is a new one to me. I haven't seen this at all. There was no artist listed, I'm sorry. This one too, it's a no drama, there's no artist listed. They're just generic designs. They're nicely made though, you know, considering something that's going to be given away. They are woodblock prints, they're rubbed on the back, carved and printed. This is not machine printing, this is an actual woodblock print. And they're quite carefully made. And they must have made them, my God, in the thousands and thousands and thousands of copies. The staff is gathering. It must be time. Okay, we've got to shut this down. Let's just quickly flip through the stack to see what designs we have. There's going to be many of the same designs repeated. Oh, another new design. I'm not sure myself now what to do with these. We have an extensive collection of these. Most of these are duplicates of prints that I have. What should we do? Should we put these into the shop, or should we keep them all together as a reference of one trip, August 1938? I don't know. Not sure what to do. I think these would do well in the shop once we explain to people what they are. But I'm a little bit hesitant to bust up the collection. Anyway, whatever. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, to recap again, this is Monday. I will not be streaming on Thursday. Wednesday is dental surgery. I'm having a wisdom tooth removed. And in the interest of just maybe keeping the stress level as low as possible, there will be no stream on Thursday, either from Ome or from Asakusa. I will be in Ome because that's where my dentist is. We'll pick up streaming again back here at this bench on Saturday morning, where the idea is that I will then be carving this special shadow print, the one that we looked at today that I was tracing. Good luck with the dentist. Things will be what they will be. Is Sensei Margin live? Shall we drop over there? Somebody give me a note on this. I don't see any. Margin is live, somebody says. Okay, let's do the command to go and talk to Jason. He must be nearly finished right now. What has he got? Like 2 or 3 more days left? Do you know? Have you been watching? Raid Sensei Margin. He must be getting close to the end by now. Send the command. It says this channel is intended for mature audiences. What's he been doing? No idea. Anyway, away we go. See you over there. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.